And today we'll be talking about being a young mum and how I personally feel about. If I'm looking down, it's because I have my notes by my side. How I feel personally about being a young mum, because everybody's um experience is different, and this is just mine. Um, how's my pregnancy? My pregnancy it wasn't that hard. I guess because my belly wasn't big, because she was small, so it wasn't hard. It was just tiring, very tiring. I didn't have any morning sickness. I didn't really show that much until 4 or 5 months. I didn't have any sickness really. There was certain food that I loved, like salt and vinegar crisp, or I couldn't stop drinking juice. I could not stop. A lot of things that I loved, and then the smell of certain things, like the smell of egg was disgusting. The smell of certain sausages, the smell of a lot of things were disgusting. I realized that I stressed so. I used to be a person that I didn't care about anything. Whatever happens, happens, and if I do something wrong and I have this, if I have to suffer the consequences, that wasn't a problem to me. But now I stress. I no During my pregnancy, I stressed over everything, and obviously it wasn't good because stress in the long run will have a bad effect on your health. But yeah, how was childbirth? Childbirth, I I keep saying I enjoyed it, but I didn't enjoy it. It was easier than I expected, because everybody said, "Oh, childbirth is gonna be so painful. It's gonna be so hard. You're gonna hate it. It's gonna be the worst pain in the world." And then it was like, I guess mine was short. I was in labor for like 3 hours, if that. So um, so it wasn't it wasn't that hard, but it was extremely painful. I'm not saying it wasn't painful, because it was very painful. But I guess the thing that helped me the most through childbirth was walking. I I stayed on my feet, like, until I stayed on my feet. That's basically it. Walking around. Um, how being a young mum has affected my education. It has affected my education by, I'm 18, and she's 4 months now. I had to finish the first year of college. I was meant to do 2 years in childcare, and I had to finish my first year of college early, like 3 months early. No, I started going only a few days, or one day of 2 weeks, or like that. It's towards the end of the school year. That was, yeah, before June, because she was born in June. And then, and I was planning. My plan was to go back to college, try and finish my course, the first year of my course, as quick as possible, and go back to college in September. But I realized that was not possible. First of all, I could not finish my first year of course because I was so tired. I was sleeping all the time, and well, I wasn't really sleeping all the time, but in the morning I was so tired to do anything. I'll sit down and I have my laptop in front of me, and I would have my books in front of me, and I just can't do the work because I'll put my head down. But after 2 sentences, I'd fall asleep, and I had so much work that I had to catch up on because I was already falling behind. So that didn't work. And then in September, she was only like 2.5 months old, 2 to 3 months old. So going back to college wasn't ideal because that, like, college you can go at any time, but I can't get back the time I miss with her. Like, imagine if I miss her first steps or her first words or anything. Like, I can't afford to miss that. So I, if you hear noise in the background, it's my mum. Um, I can't afford to miss that. So I'm putting my education back a bit and doing something when she's a tiny bit older, like maybe in February. I'll start back something January, February time when she's a bit older. When she, yeah, when she's a bit older. Education. Coping with it all. I think I've coped well because I love kids and I've always loved kids, and I grew up in a family where kids is just like a normal thing. My family's a very big family, so there's always someone having a child. So coping with another child, it was like it wasn't too big of a hassle for me because I'm used to it having new children in the family, except for the fact that this is my own. But yeah, um, well, stress. Yeah, I spoke about stress. That has been a nightmare. Um, responsibility. Responsibility of having a child at the age of 18. It's nice to only think about yourself and getting money, so when you get that bit of money you can just buy that dress that you wanted, and you don't have to worry about anybody else. I'm living in my mum's house, so rent is not a problem. All of those kind of things is like, if I didn't have a child, then I wouldn't have to think about any of those things. But now that I do have a child, like, every bit of money I get, at first, I'm not gonna lie, I was spending a lot of money on silly little things because I was getting money from her dad, and we had already bought everything she needed before she was born. So when she was born, there wasn't much she needed. Like, I bought her clothes, and she didn't even need that because she had so many clothes. I bought her things she didn't need, and I bought myself things that, small little things that I look at and say, "Ooh, that's nice," so I buy it. So but now everything I buy is like, I go into a shop, the first thing I think of, Nevaeh. I have to buy something for Nevaeh. Or I see a dress and I have to buy it. Like, and her clothes are so expensive. It's like, I could go and buy 5 pieces of clothes and spend £25 if I wanted to. But her, I went into a shop and I spent £49 on like 5 pieces of clothes for her. It was like, that money could be spent on something else, but it's worth it because her clothes are nice. Um, so that's about responsibility. Having to think about someone else, knowing I can't go out at certain times, knowing I can't do certain things because I've got someone else to think about. People's reaction to me being pregnant, everybody was shocked. Everybody was shocked because you didn't expect Aysa to have a child. But like, even I'm on the bus, I'm walking onto the bus, and like, everybody's eyes are on me because I'm 18, but I don't necessarily look 18. I look a lot younger than 18. So for me to be pushing a pushchair onto the bus, looking the way I do, a lot of people look. I'll be walking down the road and people are looking at me, and it's like it's not unnecessary, but it's their choice. Um, breastfeeding. Oh, that was a nightmare. Oh, she has hiccups and I have hiccups too. Um, breastfeeding was a nightmare because when she was first born and I had to breastfeed, um obviously my body's not used to it and everything, so it was so painful. My boobs were so full, and she was very small. She was born 5 pounds 6 ounces. So I guess she wasn't. I don't know if she wasn't that hungry or whatever, but that was painful. Obviously now it's gone down and I don't mind it, and it's not painful anymore. Because I even tried to start her on bottle. She takes anything. She eats anything. She drinks anything. But that whole idea of me giving her bottle is so that other people could feed her. So say if I'm busy and she's hungry, I don't have to stop everything. Someone else could do the job for me. But I guess everybody's used to me feeding her, so I still end up feeding her. So I just put her back on straight breast unless we're out, and then I'll give her a bottle. But yeah, the problems that brings is that knowing that it's not only me that I have to think about, not only me that I have to buy things for, not only me that has to eat. When I'm sleeping, I can't just have a peaceful sleep because I have to keep getting up to check on her, make sure she's okay. Because she's come to a stage where anything that gets into her, she pulls it towards her mouth. Sorry, she pulls it towards her mouth. Everything she wants in her mouth, everything she wants to eat. So you don't get any peace. That's why when we're sleeping, I have to keep everything away from her head. Yeah, yeah. No, stop it. I have to keep everything away from my head just to make sure. And there used to be points where like she's crying and I'm so tired because I think the pregnancy has had the biggest effect it's had on me is that I've been so drained, like completely drained. So um so she'll be crying and I can't even hear. My mum would have to wake up and wake me up to feed her, and I'm still so tired. But yeah, one big pro one big problem when it comes to having a child and having the father around, which I love, no doubt that she has both her parents in her life that are still together, but he's had a different upbringing to me. We both have different values. We both see things in different ways when it comes to discipline, or he wants her there and I want her here, or he wants her at his family's house, I want her at my family's house. And it's like he wants it his way and I want it my way. Well, obviously we have to compromise, but it's not easy at all. Like I'm the type of person that if I go to my family's house, it's not any problem for me to stay over during the night. It's not any problem for me to stay late and get a lift home or anything because I'm at my family's house. There's nothing wrong with that. But he sees it as she should be in at a certain time. I understand that. Or he, it's like certain things we don't agree with, and that brings a lot of stress and problems because he's always arguing and yeah. Talking about being tired. Two things. Family upbringing. Ooh, this video is getting long. Christian upbringing. I grew up in a Christian family. I am a Christian. So, you know, you know that there's no sex before marriage, period. But we're all human. Everybody makes mistakes. Look how many people have had children before getting married. So, I didn't have to go on that point because God has forgiven me, and that's all that matters. Family expectations. Everybody in my family expected. Like, I have a younger sister. She's 1 year younger than me. She just said hi. Um, everybody looks at her, oh, they're gonna be so successful, they're gonna do so well, they're not gonna make any mistakes. Oh, she's come to join us in a video. Hi, Ma. This is aimed at my youngsters, and she will feature in my videos sometimes. Stop it. But yeah, and they always saw us as the two girls that's gonna succeed. We was always little quiet girls, done well and everything. Didn't misbehave at all. And then when everybody heard I was pregnant, it was like, oh my days, because it's something that's frowned upon because I'm 18. I was 17 when I fell pregnant, and nobody liked it. But hey ho. Um. So yeah, my family wasn't too happy about it, but they're extremely supportive. They love her to bits. Look at her. Can you not love her? They love her to bits, and they still love me. So yeah. And night feeds, as I said before it used to be a problem getting up at night because um I have to show you something after. But it used to be a problem getting up before, but now I'm still tired. It's still a problem, but I think I'm getting used to it. The stress of getting up in the night. But yeah, I think that I've covered everything about being a young parent. It's not easy. It's definitely not easy, and I'm only 4 months in, so my journey is nowhere near the end. It will never end, but because I'll always be her mom. But it's not easy. So all young moms to be, if you can relate to that, I would like to see a video on your experience of being a mom at such a young young age, and hopefully this video helps any young moms, and I hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, oh yeah, I wanted to show you. Look at the back of her head. That's what she's done from rooting out her head. She had so much hair when she was born, yeah, and she just grew out her head at the back when she's laying down, yeah, until she has no hair, but it will grow back because she has lovely hair on the top. So it has. That's not even a problem. But yeah, say bye bye. Bye bye. Bye.